Imagine losing almost everything. Your businesses are destroyed. Your infrastructure lies in ruins. Your industries disappear almost overnight. Yet, within a single generation, your children begin filling lecture halls, hospitals, laboratories, engineering firms, and boardrooms across an entire nation. This is one of the greatest untold stories of modern Nigeria. The Southeast may occupy one of Nigeria's smallest geographical areas, but it has produced an extraordinary concentration of professors, doctors, engineers, scientists, entrepreneurs, lawyers, and academics across virtually every Nigerian university, across every professional examination, across medicine, engineering, law, accounting, and technology. The presence of people from the Southeast is impossible to ignore. But how did this happen? Why did education become almost sacred in this region? And is the Southeast truly Nigeria's most educated region? The answer is more fascinating than many imagine, because this story did not begin in a university. It began in villages. Long before Nigeria became independent, Christian missionaries transformed education across eastern Nigeria. Beginning in the 19th century, schools established by the Church Missionary Society, the Roman Catholic Mission, and later other denominations spread rapidly across Igbo communities. Unlike many parts of colonial Nigeria, where education developed slowly, numerous communities in eastern Nigeria actively demanded schools. Villages contributed land, families donated labor, parents encouraged children to attend. Education quickly became associated with opportunity rather than merely religion. By the 1940s and 1950s, literacy rates across many communities in eastern Nigeria had risen significantly compared with earlier decades. The region embraced Western education while still preserving traditional systems of apprenticeship and community learning. This dual educational system would later become one of its greatest strengths. Historians consistently identify missionary education as a major driver of educational expansion in eastern Nigeria. Most regions possess abundant natural resources. The Southeast possessed something different: people. Without vast oil reserve or extensive agricultural plantations during the colonial period, many families concluded that their greatest investment would be education. Parents sold livestock, farmers sacrificed harvest, communities built schools, extended families sponsored brilliant children. Education became social capital, degrees became family achievement. One graduate often supported younger siblings through university. That cycle repeated itself for generations. This communal investment transformed education from an individual ambition into a collective responsibility. Then came the Nigerian Civil War between 1967 and 1970. Eastern Nigeria experienced devastating destructions. Schools were destroyed, universities were disrupted, businesses disappeared, families lost nearly everything. Yet, the war produced an unexpected consequence. Many survivors concluded that wealth could vanish overnight. Education, however, could not be confiscated. Knowledge became the safest investment. After the war ended, countless families redirected their hopes towards schooling. Children were repeatedly told, "Your education is your inheritance." That philosophy became deeply rooted across generations. Perhaps the greatest strength of the Southeast is not simply its schools, it is its culture. Children often grow up surrounded by graduates. Teachers are respected, doctors are admired, professors receive community recognition, academic achievement becomes part of family identity, school prizes are celebrated publicly, examination success becomes village news, parents monitor homework closely, communities sponsor scholarships, success stories inspire younger generations, education becomes a cultural expectation rather than merely a personal ambition. UNICEF and UNESCO have repeatedly highlighted how household attitudes strongly influence educational participation and learning outcomes. Although geographically compact, the Southeast hosts an impressive concentration of tertiary institutions. Federal universities, state universities, private universities, polytechnics, colleges of education, teaching hospitals, research institutes, institutions such as University of Nigeria Nsukka, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Federal University of Technology Owerri, Alex Ekwueme Federal University, and numerous private universities have educated hundreds of thousands of Nigerians. Many students from across every geopolitical zone travel to Southeast for higher education. The growth of tertiary education has further strengthened the region's educational ecosystem. Data compiled by the Federal Ministry of Education, NUC, and related agencies showed a continued expansion of tertiary education across Nigeria, including Southeast. Education in the Southeast does not stop inside classrooms. The famous Igbo apprenticeship system teaches entrepreneurship. Young apprentices learn business management, negotiation, accounting, customer relations, manufacturing, international trade, supply chains. Many eventually establish their own companies. This creates an unusual combination: formal education plus practical business experience. The result is a workforce that values both academic knowledge and real-world skills. Across Nigeria, Southeasterners have become highly visible in professional occupations: medicine, engineering, law, academia, accounting, technology, pharmacy, and research. Many of Nigeria's leading surgeons, scientists, vice chancellors, consultants, inventors, and innovators have emerged from the region. This pattern reflects decades of sustained educational investment rather than coincidence. Several national and international data sets consistently place the Igbo ethnic group among Nigeria's highest literacy population, while the Southeast generally records strong educational indicators relative to many other regions. For example, UNICEF education analysis shows significant regional differences in literacy and educational attainment. International data sets have reported very high youth literacy among the Igbo compared with many other ethnic groups. JAMB and WAEC participation from southeastern states remain consistently high due to strong demand for tertiary education. However, it is important to distinguish between educational participation, literacy, examination success, and university completion. Each measures something slightly different. Therefore, describing the Southeast as Nigeria's most educated region should be understood as an interpretation supported by multiple educational indicators rather than a single official government ranking. Despite remarkable achievements, the region faces serious challenges: brain drain, youth migration, underfunded universities, academic strikes, graduate unemployment, research funding shortages, infrastructure deficit. Many of the Southeast's brightest graduates now leave Nigeria for opportunities abroad. This creates concern about sustaining educational excellence in future generations. Other regions are investing aggressively in education. New universities continue to emerge nationwide. Digital learning is transforming classrooms. Artificial intelligence is reshaping global employment. Future success will depend less on degrees alone and more on innovation, research, entrepreneurship, and technology. The Southeast educational culture provide a strong foundation, but maintaining leadership will require continued investment in quality education, research, and skills development. People often ask what lies beneath the soil of the Southeast. Coal, limestone, lead, zinc, clay, natural gas, and oil in some areas. But perhaps the region's greatest resource has never been on the ground. It has been inside classrooms, inside libraries, inside laboratories, inside determined families who believe education could change destiny. Generations after generation, parents invested in knowledge instead of luxury. Communities built schools before monuments. Families celebrated certificates as much as wealth. That decision helped shape one of the most educated and professionally accomplished population in Nigeria. Whether measured by literacy, higher education participation, or professional representation, the Southeast has built a powerful educational legacy. Its greatest export has never been oil. Its greatest export has always been human capital, and in an increasingly knowledge-driven world, that may prove to be the most valuable resource of all. As we have seen throughout this documentary, the Southeast's reputation for educational excellence was not built overnight. It was shaped by generations of sacrifice, resilience, and an unwavering belief that knowledge is the greatest investment a family can make. From the missionary schools of the colonial era to today's universities, from parents who sold their possession to educate their children, to communities that built schools with their own hands, the story of Southeast is ultimately a story of people choosing education as a pathway to progress. While no single official ranking can conclusively declare any one region as Nigeria's most educated, the evidence from literacy, higher education participation, professional representation, and a deeply rooted culture that values learning makes a compelling case that Southeast remains one of Nigeria's leading educational powerhouses. Yet, the journey is far from over. Brain drain, underfunded institutions, unemployment, and the rapid pace of technological change present new challenges. The next chapter will depend on how well the region, and indeed Nigeria as a whole, invest in research, innovation, digital skills, and quality of education for the future generation. Perhaps the greatest lesson is one that extends beyond the Southeast. Natural resources can be exhausted, buildings can be destroyed, economies can rise and fall, but knowledge once acquired continues to create opportunities for individuals, families, and entire societies. In the end, the Southeast's greatest resource has never been hidden beneath the ground. It has always been found in its classrooms, libraries, laboratories, and in the minds of millions who believe that education can transform lives. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this documentary and learned something new, please support the channel by liking this video, sharing it with your friends and family, and subscribing for more well-researched documentaries on the Southeast, Igboland, Nigeria, Africa, history, economics, infrastructure, and development. What do you think? Is Southeast Nigeria's the most educated region, or do you believe another region deserves the title? Share your thoughts respectfully in the comments below. We would love to hear your perspective. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss our next documentary. Until next time, stay curious, keep learning, and remember, knowledge remains the greatest investment any society can make. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next documentary.
5 secondary school girls from Regina Apache's Secondary School, Onitsha, went to Silicon Valley in San Francisco, United States of America, to represent Nigeria and Africa in the ongoing Technovation World Challenges. They qualified to represent Nigeria after defeating other contestants with the technology that they invented to help Nigeria fight against fake pharmaceutical drugs. I think our girl deserves some accolade here too.
For students from Imo State South, East Nigeria have emerged winners of the 2014 NNPC Annual National Quiz Competition. With 155 points to 145 points, the team from Imo beat Ogun and Akwa Ibom State to second and third positions. Applauding the performance of the 6 participating teams, the Group Managing Director of the NNPC, Mr. Andrew Yakubu, pledged to increase the budget of the Corporation Scholarship Scheme towards breeding young indigenous scientists and developing Nigeria's education sector.
Since 2001, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) has used this platform to encourage budding engineers and scientists to excel in their studies, and this year would not be an exception.
The competition aims to support the massive federal government campaigns towards uplifting the standard of education in the country, to stimulate interests of the younger ones in the study of the sciences, and to share ideas and build a solid foundation for science development within Nigeria.
We must therefore strengthen STEM education so as to accelerate the production of a highly qualified and skilled workforce that can leverage domestic and foreign investment in the key sectors of Nigeria's economy.
6 teams from the 6 geopolitical zones, including the FCT, Akwa Ibom, Imo, Ogun, Taraba, and Kaduna states, made it to the finals.
Here with the questions.
And standing in between them and the coveted trophy are questions in mathematics, physics, chemistry, biology, English, and the knowledge of the corporation and its activities.
D, storage of vitamins.
B, clotting of blood.
And that is correct.
After the first and second rounds, Imo State emerged overall winners, but only a sudden death could separate Ogun in second and Akwa Ibom in third positions.
It's such an interesting thing that Imo, each contestant from Imo, has an average age of 14. Each of them is 14 years. Among all the contestants.
The Group Managing Director of the NNPC is thrilled with the trend in performance and pledges the corporation's commitment.
We feel encouraged, and we in NNPC are proud to be associated with this, and we will continue to promote this as we move on. My attention has been drawn to the amount involved in the scholarship package. I have therefore identified the fact that the package is not adequate enough, and I have directed accordingly for an upward review of the package.
Now in its 14th year, the NNPC quiz competition has recorded several successes, providing indigenous and talented manpower for the oil and gas sector, and this, the corporation hopes, would continue.